kind of not 100% ready, but somehow I pressed the button to go live, so once the button's pressed, the button is pressed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is going on. Let's try to get some stuff set up here so we can try to figure this all out. I get the side stream going. There we go. Mute that out. Oh, I need the TV on. Why isn't the TV on? Okay. The first minute of the stream is some of the best first minute that could possibly be ever hoped for in the history. In the history. Oh, that's going to be all loud and repeaty. There we go. All right. And away we go. So, haven't cleaned anything up yet. So it's going to be... Oh, yeah. Got to take the trash out. Comment below what it's like to be perfect. I haven't quite achieved that just yet. I've come close a couple times, but... Right when I think I've achieved perfection, it gets pointed out to me that I'm not perfect. You can't get wrong. Oh man, I got. How about this week or last week? It's been one for the. Is everybody okay? Just like, oh my god. I kind of feel bad for like, I don't want to like, I feel like every time I make a stream, I just say regular comments, and then I feel like there's people who watch that get offended. But I feel bad for anybody I feel bad for anyone who's formulated a way to live their life that involves consuming mainstream media, believing what the mainstream media tells them, and then reacting to it as though it's happening in real time to them personally. Like, it's just, I don't know how it would be like. I think you'd be exhausted at this point. I mean, the meme joke on the internet is you have when it comes to like geopolitics, you would have, if you were suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, I would assume that you'd be just about at the end of your rope at this point, because just like I don't know how a person could keep up with the like what did I read this week? Like, the news was saying that your iPhone's going to cost $30,000. And like, okay, it's gonna cost $30,000 for an iPhone. Well, I got some bad news for anyone who believes that. Your iPhone might cost $30,000. Mine's not. My iPhone will not cost $30,000. It's just like, you guys, what are you talking about? Ah! The cost of your avocado! Ah! Everyone's freaking out. And what's crazy to me is like, 4 years ago we went through 4 years. No, whatever. I got a whole list of shit to talk about this week. Well, I kind of feel bad for the folks who, I mean, I assume the kind of people that are living their life that way already have problems to begin with. And it's just like, holy cow, man, could you imagine? I'm trying to think like the amount of like I don't even know how you describe it all. Like, double talk? Is it double talk? Is that what it is? And it's, I mean, I suppose it's a case of like, you're hearing one internet expert saying one thing and then another internet expert saying another thing, and they're like, not both of these things can't be true, you know. Like, it's like the tariff thing obviously is like the head of the news right now. I keep listening to people talk about it, and it's just like it makes my brain hurt. Like, I mean, have you heard an expert say that if a country such as the United States were to put a tariff on another country's imports, the stuff they're importing, that cost is just going to be paid by the consumer, and how the tariff's just bad for the locals? Have you heard this? And then, without missing a beat, because we're just going to suspend disbelief here for a second. And when I say suspend disbelief, that means we're going to pretend that we can't believe in things. Like, we're going to just pretend. We're going to play a game of pretend. So after listening to experts tell us how if a country like the United States tariffs, oh, we'll just say China just for an example, that's going to hurt America. That's bad for America, and it's only bad for America. So then why would another country put tariffs on stuff like, but that, if it's bad for the country that set the tariff, why would another country set a tariff to make it bad for their own? Like, is that circular logic doesn't work there? Oh, wait a second. It's like, oh my God, dude. A tariff is a tax. The biggest hidden tax you ever pay. Well, here's the thing. Don't forget. You're not required to purchase anything that's tariff. You don't have to. There's no tariff Gestapo running around grabbing you, taking you to the old Dollar General, putting your eye in the eye scanner and making you put your credits towards some tariffed items. Like, God, get a grip, humanity. Like, it's just so wild to watch. It's so wild to watch. I guess it's not the wildness of the watching, it's the wildness of the people reacting. You know, we're gonna cook 3 of these because life is short, and the potato patties might get tariffed at any moment. Jesus Christ. We're tariffing the potato patties, everybody! I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. Everybody just calm down. Calm down. Everybody calm down. Whatever. On a sad note, the last of the Biden administration policed outrageous egg-priced eggs these hippie eggs, these California compliant eggs, were just as expensive as abused chicken eggs, which is that's the kind I prefer. I've always found that if you abuse a chicken, the egg tastes a little better, mainly because your wallet has more money in it. That's what makes my chicken eggs taste better or not better. Sorry, I didn't clean this. I'm gonna clean the old cooktop here. That's not cool. Be a lot cooler if I had. I mean, I don't know the exact strategies involved in anything, other than my own strategies. But it seems to me as though the whole current situation could possibly be a setup to hold potential countries responsible for potential things that could have potentially happened in the past involving global pandemics. Just saying. Because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Been wrong in the past. I could be wrong against it. Where's my spatula? Oh, here it is. Jeez. Don't last much wood. It's starting to sound like things aren't going so swimmingly over in the old People's Republic of affordably priced Chinese goods. Now, what a lot of people may not realize is recently there's been a phenomenon going on globally that's called inflation. And one of the things that happens when there's an inflationary period is consumers' disposable income tends to get gobbled up paying for the necessities of life, or at least a larger proportion of it, right? So if you got to spend more money on, staying alive, like electricity, rent, food, healthcare, insurance, taxes, you have a little less money for the optional items in life. So some of the stuff I've been reading is, it's an easy way to say it, sales have been down on Chinese consumer items due to the fact that the consumer doesn't have endless money. So what I was reading was it was already a little tight over in China. So there wasn't a whole lot of wiggle room to begin with. And now that these tariffs have gone in, I saw a video last night of a guy talking about they're having mysterious 5-alarm fires all over China at these factories. Now, do I know exactly what's happening with the 5-alarm fires? When I say 5-alarm, that means that the buildings are burning down. Typically, a factory fire is a thing that happens, and it's like, oh, that happened. 2 factory fires at the same time, that's like, well, that's crazy. 3 factory fires at the same time, it's like, what's going on here? I'm pretty sure I read it was like 10. So then people are trying to figure out what's going on. So like usually when there's a structure fire, it's just one, it's like a myriad of things. When the fires start getting suspicious, it's like one of 2 things. It's either someone's lighting them on fire for hateful reasons, or someone's lighting them on fire for insurance claim reasons. Now I don't know if insurance fraud's a thing in China. I can only assume they've got insurance over there. And if it's looking like you're not going to be able to sell widgets because the widgets are going to cost too much for people who can't afford widgets, it wouldn't be the first time in history someone thought of that. Which is pretty wild to think that like people are burning their factories down because I don't think they're going to be able to stay in business because yeah. And I've heard, oh no, everything's gonna be fine. It's like, okay. I like it when everything's fine. I'm a big fan of everything's gonna be fine. So for everything to be fine, what I heard, what might be happening is China's just gonna focus on other markets to buy their affordably priced Chinese goods. And like, yeah, no, that's a great plan. The only thing is, like, could you imagine for 1 second that a country such as China have just waited until 2025 to decide maybe now is the time to focus on an emerging market. Like it's like, okay, yeah, no, all right. I'm pretty sure they've already focused. Like I can't. It's just like these, man. And I mean, whatever. There's like 1,000 other ways to look at everything. I mean, do you want affordable stuff made by people who live in China? You can rephrase that. Do you want affordable stuff made by people who are, at best, indentured servants? Certain situations. You know. Do you want affordable stuff made by communists who are indentured service? Like, you could wait all sorts of different ways. I personally don't have a problem with people who live under communism working to build my affordably priced stuff. That doesn't bother me at all. It bothers some people. Whatever. But good news, your iPhone will not cost you $30,000. Turns out they decided to halt the tariff increase on certain items, smartphones being one of them, I believe, that was included in the list of things they're not gonna. They must have done some polling that said Americans can take a lot of stuff, but they can't take their iPhone costing too much. And I, for one, can absolutely goddamn believe that would be a thing. Makes you laugh. I don't do business in China, so like I don't have my finger on the pulse over there. But I do know it's not exactly a fair playing field. I know that. The old dirty cutting board out. Whoops! We're gonna have ourselves an orange. As we dethaw the, or thaw, or unthaw, or post-thaw, or pre-thaw, the, frozen slab of bacon there. Oh man, I had a fun one yesterday. Had to go to the gas station to get some gas. On a typical gas station visit for me, typically, the way I run my operation is I try to select the pump that's going to allow me to exit the gas station the easiest. Because I usually pay with a credit card and then I usually leave. Usually. I'm not a big fan of going into the gas station. There's nothing in the gas station I want. There's nothing for sale at the gas station that is going into my car and leaving with me. Many reasons for that, but there just isn't. I know for a lot of people that's hard to believe. I think for a lot of people, their favorite part of the day is going to the gas station and, I don't know, buying a ladder ticket. Oh, hey, what's up, Jeremy? Welcome to the stream. So yesterday I went to the gas station, pulled in the parking lot. I had the perfect gas pump for easy escape. Pulled up to it, popped my gas flappy thing, walked around, told the stupid computer there, no, I don't want to do all the stupid shit it wants me to do. Put my credit card in, selected my fuel, put the fuel nozzle in the car or whatever, started pumping the fuel. Things were going great. Got about a gallon and a little over a gallon into the machine, and it made the sound of like, you know, when you put the gas in and you pull the handle and you put the little kickstand down, and then when it's full, the back pressure tells the pump you got enough, and then it clicks off. It did that after like a gallon and change, and I was like, uh-oh. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So, you know, I tried to reset it, and like, it's not resetting. I look at the pump, and the screen starts slowly fading. Getting darker and darker and darker and darker, and the numbers that I'm reading are becoming harder and harder to read, till all of a sudden there's just nothing there. And I'm like, oh man, did one of many things could have happened. One, the end of the world could have just happened. The end of the world, where all electronics just stopped working, could have just happened, like an electronic pulse, nuclear attack, whatever. That could have just happened. Weird. I didn't panic though. I said to myself, what are the chances that the end of the world just happened? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably like, what, a 7? So I was like, well, I'm going to have to go inside and find out. But of course, my strategic parking put me at the farthest spot from the walking inside the cash register area. So I make the odyssey across the whole entire gas station, go inside. There's a line. I wait my turn because I'm not a psychopath. I don't walk in the door, start screaming because I'm important. I wait my turn. I just say, hey, what's going on with the pump? My pump stopped, and the girl behind the counter starts like kind of having a meltdown, going, I'm so sorry, I hit the emergency shut-off button. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, okay. What do I do? Like, she's like, it's going to reset. I was like, okay, well, so is it just going to reset and then I just continue? Or do I have to, like, start over? She's like, I don't know, just go out there and see, and then maybe come back in and... she's panicking. I kind of feel bad for her. I didn't get mad. I didn't yell. I was just, like, trying to get the information so I could figure out how to, continue my day. So I go outside, and I sit, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And eventually the screen kicks on, and when it kicks on, it doesn't come back on the gas station. It comes back on to like a page of code and all these checks going through, and it's like, whoa, dude. I had an eye-opening experience there. And I relayed the story to my group that plays on Saturday nights, and one of the guys that leads group, he's an IT specialist who their company focuses on like gas station stuff. Which I heard him say that before, like Travel America or something, one of the big major chains. And I heard him talk about how he works for like a company that does the computers, IT for a gas station. I always thought that was kind of weird, but like whatever, people do whatever they do. And I started telling the story, and he's like, "Oh, dude, yeah, no, yeah." And he was telling me all this crazy shit and how it all works. He's like, dude, it's so nuts. Like, a gas station pump is so crazy. It's not just, you're not just pumping gas. It's like computers talking to computers, going to servers and all this stuff. It's all applications. It's all this craziness. And he was saying, the emergency shut off because she's like, did someone outside press it? No, the girl inside. He's like, oh yeah. He said they designed a bunch of these gas stations with the emergency shut off on a wall where when a door swings all the way open, it hits the emergency shut off. So he's had to take the phone calls from companies calling in, be like, dude, our pumps aren't working, your software's broken, what's going on? And he's done it so many times that he just knows, like, the first thing he asks is, he doesn't ask, how did he say? He's like, I don't even ask if they push the button. He's like, can you just go pull the button back out? And the people will be like, well, we didn't press the button. And he'll be like, yo, no, I get it, that's fine. Can you just go over to the emergency shut off, grab it, and pull it back out? And then he has to have an argument with these people about how they haven't pressed the button yet. And then he has to just ask them, like, just humor me, just for the fun of it. Just for, let's see what happens. And they'll go over, and it'll be, like, slightly pressed in, and it'll pull out, like, a 1/4 inch, and then it all starts working again. So, like, you know, I sit there, and the thing kind of comes online, and, like, its default position after rebooting is, oh, that transaction's over, you got to do another one. So it's like, oh, great. So, like, okay, well, I guess I bought a gallon and change of gas. That's fine. It's always enjoyable. I mean, whatever. I had to walk all the way back across again because, you know, I get a receipt for everything I do. I know that's another one I know this bothers people extraordinarily. Oh, I don't need a receipt. It's like, oh, you don't, huh? All right. Nobody needs a receipt until they need a receipt. I'll just put it that way. The old I don't need a receipt works perfect until the day you need a receipt. And if you don't have one, you're like, oh, Christ, I needed a receipt. Like when you're being accused of capital crimes and you can't prove where you were because you don't have a receipt. Whatever. All right, let's get this thing ready to go. Oh man, so that was fun. The old gas station madness. Where's my piece of paper with all my shit that I wrote down? There were some really good ones this week that were like, I had to write them down. Oh yeah, have you heard about this? I think this is a law in California. San Francisco, you ready for this? They're adjusting their speeding tickets. Are you ready for this? They're adjusting their speeding tickets based on how much money you have. So if you're under 200% of the federal poverty level, and if you get a speeding ticket in San Francisco, you only pay half the speeding ticket. If you're indigent or homeless, and I don't think that has anything to do with your income, you just have to be homeless, 80% off. Now, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong in that scenario? Now, I'm not going to say that if you're below, if your income is below 200% of the poverty line, I'm not going to say there's a reason for that. I don't know what your reasons are. And I'm not going to say if you're homeless, but yet somehow can still afford a car, and I assume to drive a car, you have to be able to afford insurance, otherwise you'd be illegally operating a vehicle on public roads. But I'm going to assume if you're homeless and you're living in your car, it's not for no reason. Now, I know there's probably people who choose, they're like, you know what I've decided in life? Van life's for me. I'm going to live in a van. or working's not for me, I'm gonna just not work and be poor, but yet still afford a car and insurance. I don't know how that, but I'm sure there's people who are doing that. You know, perfectly respectable, multi-billionaire, wealthy people who just decided to stop making money and be living in their car. You know, the top echelon of our society or whatever. I'm sure there's a few of those. I can't imagine a lot, but probably a few. The other scenario I can imagine is if you're homeless or you're living in your car or you don't make any money, I assume it's a series of events that have transpired in your life. Some completely out of your control, I assume, is very real. But many of them completely within your control and a result of the decisions you have made throughout your life. Okay? I.e., you might have made some bad decisions that resulted in circumstances potentially that caused you to become indigent, homeless, or living with an income that's 200% below the federal poverty line. All right, now that we've established that, what do you suppose the chances are that if you are operating a vehicle with insurance legally on the road and registered, that your streak of good decisions is going to keep going? You're just going to keep on cracking out just great, amazing decisions that led you to be indigent, homeless, or living below 200% of the poverty line. Do you suppose those crack decisions you've been making your whole life are just going to suddenly not transpire in your automotive on the road operation decisions, i.e. speeding, dangerous driving, killing people with your vehicle? Oh man, what could possibly go wrong? Well, let's make sure that let's lessen the deterrent from that kind of behavior for people who are potentially making bad decisions already. Let's lower the potential fee that they would face for breaking these traffic laws, and then let's sit back and see what happens. It's just like, are they serious? Are they actually going to do that? Like, yep, they're 100% going to do that. It's just like, man, what could possibly go wrong, right? I mean, that's just mind-boggling to me. The unintended consequences from that will probably be seen forever for some people. I don't think they're going to be good because, like, I don't know what it is about California and people that make their laws, but like they don't tend to look to the future to see what might happen. Excuse me. One of the most famous ones I can remember is the plastic bags are bad. Let's get rid of them. Well, no one thought to tell the people that make the plastic bag laws that that's where people who don't have a toilet sometimes will go to the bathroom, because even when you're homeless, you don't want to take a shit on the floor because you're homeless. You're not a wild animal. So the homeless used to use the plastic bags mostly for defecating and wiping their ass. They put it in a plastic bag and they either chuck it on the side of the road or they throw it in a garbage can. Well, they got rid of the plastic bags for grocery stores, so there's no more free plastic bags. And if you're homeless, you're usually homeless because you don't have a lot of money. And if money's extraordinarily tight, the last thing you're going to be buying is plastic bags to take shits in. They have shit. People shit on the sidewalks. Who would have ever foreseen that happening? Whatever. It's so wild. It's so wild to watch. So yeah, the indigent, homeless, and the poor people get discounts. Oh, Oh, yeah. You guys remember this is the next one. Do you remember the kerfuffle over the evil orange man Mussolini? Mango Mussolini? Putting those poor innocent Tren de Agua gang members on an airplane and flying them off to be put in prison. And then a judge was like, you can't do that. And I was talking about how, well, actually that had gone to the Supreme Court back during Truman's term. And they got adjudicated by the Supreme Court. And then the ruling it said that cannot be interfered by a judge once it's been declared. Remember I said all that? Well, it turns out it went to the Supreme Court last week, and the Supreme Court was like, yeah, he can definitely do that. Wow. Wow. So now all the outrage is over a dude who's in a different gang than Tren de Agua, or however you say it, who got deported with those guys. He's an MS-13 gang member. And because MS-13 was not put in the proclamation of a terrorist organization, the collective, let's let a judge be in charge of the United States, a single judge, be in charge of the United States and their decisions, is losing their mind over that one. And it's like, oh man, it's a different kind of gang member. Maybe it's one of them gang members who does charity work for orphan children, you know. I mean, I'm sure there's some. I don't know who they are. My God. I don't think normal people are particularly interested in the goings-on of gang members. I just don't think regular people care. Even to the point, I'd say if it was one of your family members that was in the gang, I got some bad news for you. Nothing good's going to come from that. God, what did I read an article the other day. It's terrible. Some dude went to prison for being a bad person. Got out of prison for being a bad person. His mother was all excited that her baby boy got out of prison. He went home from being in prison, and he murdered his mom and his sibling. So I think he got out of prison on like a technicality, and he should have never left prison. It's just like, oh my God. All right, well, there's that. There's that. There's always that. Whatever. Let's try one of these bacons. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So it turns out the evil Mango Mussolini, tyrant dictator, orange man bad, worst president in the world, popular vote winning, electoral college winning president, can in fact do the things that the president of the United States is allowed to do. Turns out. Weird. Super weird. And it turns out all the people that said he couldn't do that were so wrong, they should never say their opinions out loud ever again. How about that? What's next? Did you hear about the dire wolf being brought back from extinction? That's pretty crazy. Sometimes I wonder what could possibly go wrong. I mean, it's pretty wild to think about. How's him looking? Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the dire wolf would extinct. I guess on my viewpoint on that probably would be a bunch of assholes clubbed a bunch of animals to death because it was easy, and the animals went extinct. It'd probably be cool to bring them back. But if you had a super predator that went extinct because there's nothing for it to eat, and you bring it back and there's lots of things for it to eat, it may not work out so great. I'm just saying. I mean, there's got to be a reason why some things happen, right? In nature. Now, I'm not going to get all like, well, human beings are part of nature, so whatever we do is natural. Like, yeah, I get it, but like, someone was talking about bringing like the saber-toothed tigers back, and I'm like, I mean, a saber-toothed tiger, you have to realize, a saber-toothed tiger doesn't have giant teeth. A saber-toothed tiger's giant teeth aren't giant because it ran around and like just harpooned rabbits like shish kebabs and stacked them up. It's an evolutionary adaptation to what it was hunting. So the teeth didn't grow long overnight. What happened was there was prey that had a neck design that if you had longer teeth, you were more successful at killing the prey. Therefore, the tigers with the long teeth survived and had offspring. If you had short teeth, you died as a tiger and you didn't have offspring. And then your offspring, on occasion, would have longer teeth than you, sometimes would have shorter, and they would die. Because the prey that they were hunting, also, the ones that had thicker necks, didn't die, and they had offspring and lived. So it became an evolutionary battle of thicker-necked animals and longer-toothed tigers. And it kept going and going and going until the necks on these creatures were so big that you had to have giant saber teeth to make it happen. Does anyone understand that? I didn't even read that in a book. That's just like me thinking out loud. That's the only way it can be. So, like, what are these animals with these enormously thick necks? Because that's how a cat kills. If you don't know that. The cat doesn't kill by, like, chewing you through your butthole. It chokes you out. It bites your neck, it cuts off the blood, and it kills you. Then it eats you. God, whatever. It's just like, hey, look, we made a saber-toothed tiger. Ah! Like, what's that thing gonna eat? Oh, man, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be just fine. It's like, okay. I guess. It can be fine. It's all been working out so far. Adios, California compliant egg. I'll miss you. If you want that last little bit, that's like $4 worth of egg yolk right there. I mean, I'm sure you've all heard that egg prices have come down, and that's, we don't want to talk about that anymore. That's not good news. Have you seen the price of eggs? Have you seen the price of eggs? This shit's crazy. What are you gonna do? What's next on the list of crazy shit that's going on in the world? Oh! last month, I didn't know about this, but I just found out. Apparently last month, the esteemed former president's son apparently decided to go on a vacation to South Africa. Are you ready for this? This is back in March. And the federal government decided that it would be appropriate to give him 18 Secret Service guards. Now I'm a little torn on that one. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, do I think the adult children of Secret Service deserve protection? Maybe. I don't really know, actually. Uh-oh. We had a failed launch on the egg crack. That's an absolute failure. I don't want to eat the shell, dude. You, out! I will say that about those eggs. Those shells were something. Oh, the shells everywhere. God almighty. We'll just do the dishes later. I'm struggling. I'm struggling with those eggs. Look, I've never had eggs with such robust shells in my life. I need the weak abused eggshells. That's what I need. I mean, 18 people. I mean, when you're doing Secret Service work for Hunter Biden, do you get to participate in the cocaine and the consenting over 18 sex workers, over 18 years old sex workers? Do you get to participate in that, or do you have to just like look the other way? I mean, I don't really know how it works. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever like met a degenerate. Generally speaking, if you're a degenerate, it's just kind of like what you do. You're just a degenerate. And the only thing worse than a regular degenerate is like a rich degenerate. And then I think the only thing worse than a rich degenerate would be like a degenerate who's like daddy was like the most powerful person on the planet Earth. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine that? Do you know who my dad is coming out of that guy's mouth? Jesus. I mean, whatever. I just think that, I don't know what I think. I think that some people just get away with a bunch of shit. What else happened this week? Oh, I think the illustrious Bill Maher went to the White House for dinner. And now Bill Maher's struggling. Because it turns out evil mango Mussolini orange man orangutan Cheeto dust didn't put him in a concentration camp when he walked through the door. I watched Mars, like, he did like an episode of his show, and he talked about it. You could actually see the guy's mind breaking because he was having, well, he was having cognitive dissonance is what he was suffering from, because he was having a hard time with his mind accepting the reality of what happened when he was there at the White House versus what his mind told him should happen when he was there at the White House. See, your brain can't hold diametrically opposed realities without it being in a condition called cognitive dissonance. So I can't say, this tastes like shit. Sorry, this smells like shit, but it tastes good. Like, it doesn't work that way. You can't do both. Oh, that's a fucking tragedy. Just went on the floor with that. So even Bill Maher, while in the presence of arguably the most powerful man on the planet Earth currently, couldn't help himself but to be somewhat, I would assume, be accurate to say, disrespectful. In what can only assume to be an attempt to get a rise out of the president. Instead, all I got was like, a laugh, a shrug of the shoulder, an eye roll. And poor Bill Maher's brain couldn't handle that very. He was like, my God, it's like he's a regular person. The evil orange man might be just a regular person who's, well, when I say regular person, a regular rich person. It's also crazy. Just like what's happening. I think the globalists might have to reevaluate their strategies. They've been screaming wolf for so long, stuffing their pockets full of cash. I don't know if it's going to keep working. I read some crazy statistic the other day. And it made me feel so bad. And I don't know the exact numbers. I'm just going to paraphrase it. Someone did the median income in the United States situation. So like, now I'm not writing a book here, but like the way I understand it, median income would be like, you take the poorest person and you take the richest person, and then you take all the incomes between those two people, you add it up, and then you find the one that's in the middle. That's the median income. I think that's how that works. And what this guy said is like, yeah, here's the median income. I think it was like, what was it, like $70-something thousand. He's like, hey, let's just do something for fun. Let's do the same math, but take the top 100 people, just 100 people, who make the most money that live in the United States, the 100 richest people in the United States' income. Take them out of the equation, do the same equation, and then see what the median income. And it went from like 70,000 down to like something crazy like 50,000. And you got to remember, there's 350 million people in the United States. He's like, let's do it again. Let's take the top 1,000 people. Now, 1,000 people, you could put them in a boat. That boat could sink to the bottom of the ocean, and the world would just go on. There'd be news, there'd be sad people, don't get me wrong. But 1,000 people, anywhere on the planet Earth, wouldn't change the Earth at all. So he did the math. Let's take the 1,000 richest income earners in the United States, take them out of the equation. What is the median income? It got down to like $30,000. It was crazy. The moral of that story was, there's a lot of poor people in the United States. That's the moral of that story. A lot. It's crazy. And along those same lines, because we live in the internet age now, right? Excuse me. We live in the internet age, which is like post-cable. Before cable, it was like, it wasn't so prevalent, but like in the internet age, there's so much instant access to everything. To like lavish lifestyles, expensive things, rich people, all that. It can give a person the false impression that that's normal. And it's getting so bad that there's human beings on this planet Earth, generally of the female variety. When you sit in front of a camera and you ask them, how much money should your husband earn a year to basically qualify for your attention? If you want an eye-opening experience, listen to what these girls say. It's just like, some are like, well, anywhere between like $500,000 and $800,000 a year would probably be, we could live comfortably. It's like, whoa, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, I guess you could live comfortably. I guess. And then you read the articles that talk about marriage rates, birth rates, and it's like, well, I guess if you're not making $800,000 a year, I guess you're not going to be qualifying for that relationship. It's just like, holy, what are people nuts, dude? That shit's crazy. I'm not saying there's not people that make $800,000 a year, but in my limited experience, and I know it's not exclusive, but generally speaking, in order for you to catch a husband that makes that kind of money, you got to be from a family that makes that kind of money. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag on that one, I don't think. And I know it's not exclusive, it's not 100% across, it's not a rule. But you would have to be an extraordinarily rare specimen of the female form and be from a trailer park to score you a $1 million a year husband. I'm pretty sure of that. It's just wild, dude. Yeah. watch these internet videos. You know, I want a Ferrari. It's like, what? And that's the whole like the OnlyFans thing. It's like there's some very unique, attractive females that have learned they can get naked on the internet and make a lot of money, which is causing some women who shouldn't take their clothes off on video to do it as well. Hey, quit looking at my. And now that's like a thing. It's like a thing. Like a percentage that would make your eyes roll so hard in the back of your head you could see your intestines. If you knew what the actual percentage of like 18 to 25-year-old, I think it is, girls that are like getting naked on the internet for money, it's just like, oh, okay. It makes me think about like, I spent a lot of time hanging out with the elderly in care facilities at one point in my life. And that had a huge effect on me and how I view life. Because you talk to these people, it's like, hello person, I'm Elveshelves. What's your deal? And then you get the story. And here's what a lot of people would say. I raised a family. I was a stay-at-home mom. Or the husband was like, this is what I did. And it was like a one-sentence thing. Like, I did this for my whole life. Like, I was a watch repairman. Okay? I was a stay-at-home mom, raised kids. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. Fantastic, but it's like, huh. Like, I really started thinking about it. I was like, you lived your whole life, you did a thing, and now you're in a building with a bunch of other people who just did one. It's like, man, I don't want to do that. I don't want at the end of my life someone to say, what did you do? I don't want to say one thing. Like, well, you know, I sat behind a desk and I stared at a computer screen. Oh, okay, we'll see you later. Like, what did you do? You were on this earth for one guaranteed time and you did what? Oh, I stared at a computer screen. Oh, okay. Well, cheers. Holy shit. It makes you want to do like 75 fucking things for a living. Like if I get so old, I move into a retirement home and someone asks me what I did, I want them to want to leave because they don't want to listen to me anymore when I tell them what I did. God almighty, it's like depressing. And don't get me wrong, raising a family, being a single mom, that's important too, but like, oh God, it's just like, holy shit. So now you fast forward, oh hey, what'd you do? Oh, I got naked on the internet. Oh, well, how'd that work out? That was amazing. Brave and strong. I was like, oh my God, dude, what are we doing in society? I mean, I don't know, do like street hookers, retirement homes? And then like, what did you do? I was a whore. I was a whore on the street. Like what do you say? I don't even know. Not trying to put down street walking hookers. I know you got to pay your bills, but like, I don't understand anything anymore. Maybe those kind of people don't retire in a retirement home. I don't really know. I don't know how anything works. All I know is I've gone over an hour. I'm done. Best of luck to everyone in their Chinese purchases. I think it's going to get expensive if you buy Chinese stuff. Good luck. Thanks for tuning in. One more week, and then you get to hear me cry about street hookers again. Peace! I'm out. Where's the off button?